Testing. Ready? Everyone ready? Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council Chambers. This is a regularly scheduled Committee of the Whole meeting, a working session for the council. We have a full agenda today, and we will follow the agenda in order that it has been prepared today. We'll call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. The time is 9 a.m. We will turn the agenda over to our City Administrator, Britt C. Bennis. Britt?
Thank you. First item on the agenda is Sean Lewis from Krauss Anderson for an update on the Public Safety Center.
Mr. Lewis, just turn the... welcome, Mr. Lewis, once again. We always look forward to your presentation regarding the progress of the Public Safety Center, and we always hope that, some of the information you disseminate is a significant reduction in our costs associated with this project as well. So
it's always a pleasure, Mr. Mayor, of course.
Thank you. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Also, my privilege to be here with you again this morning, Mr. Mayor, councilors, and staff. I have a short update this morning for the new public safety facility. No change orders to discuss today. Yeah, and applause is around. Overall, the project is going very well. We are on schedule. We are within budget. And I think we have very happy end users. We've had several tours through in the past few weeks, and it's been very exciting to see everybody appreciating the new space starting to take shape. So like I said, quick update, quick overall budget update, and it'll be short and sweet this morning. You can see in the photos here as well that I have up on the screen, we have a lot of the interior walls and sheetrock. Sheetrock is nearly complete, which is also another real big milestone on a project of this size and complexity. So I'm happy and kind of excited to report that. As you can see, taping's underway as well. And like I said, this week we should pretty well have sheetrock wrapped up, and all of the rooms and spaces where you'll start to see the shape of the things taking shape inside. And like I mentioned, see rooms actually starting to take their shape of what they'll look like when they're finished as well, which is also an exciting stage of the project. Another real awesome milestone to reach on any project this size is tile going on the walls. So this is in one of the shower spaces in the locker rooms you see here. The locker rooms and the showers get tile on the walls and the floor. So this is always exciting to see tile go on the walls, and it's a big milestone where we celebrate as well on a construction project. One of the unique things about this particular new public safety facility is the training tower. So this is for the firefighters to do their training on site here at the new facility. Highlighting here, the new balcony has been installed since, so that they can also use that for practice and exercises for their training. Painting continues. We've been working on painting for a few weeks now, and we just continue to work our way through. This picture here is one of the spaces and be in the upper level, kind of on the west side of the building, upper level. So again, painting is also another great indicator of making good progress. A real quick update on the solar. So we're working on finalizing the design of the solar array. Again, it's about 410 kV solar array system. 410, correct? Plan on having, at the next meeting, final estimates for that prepared is our goal right now. And all the indicators are that everything's on schedule and on track for ordering and procuring all the equipment and installing that this summer. And frankly, of course, with the exception of tomorrow's pending snowstorm, we hope to be working on this system as soon as the weather allows, because a big portion of it is on the roof, and the remaining portion is on the south side of the site as a ground array. Of more to come on that in 2 weeks. Quick overall budget update. We did share a budget update at the last meeting. No significant changes to report since then. We are within budget. We have a healthy owner contingency remaining to help protect and manage any risk on the project. And so far, so good on that front. And then looking ahead, Like I mentioned, a lot of really good things going on, great progress going. April 1st, kind of hard to believe it's already April. But right now, we're on track on the long-range update for schedule. We're on track for operations in September is the goal right now. MEP is an acronym for mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We'll have more of that continuing. The crews, all the crews have been outstanding, really great project team. I should recognize that as well in my updates. The subcontractors and tradesmen and tradespeople are excellent partners on this project, doing really well. And especially mechanical, electrical, plumbing, it's one of those things you don't always see and appreciate until something breaks, like your toilet or something like that, or your heating. But we have a lot of that work going on as well in the building. Window installation is nearly complete. Overhead garage doors are also nearly complete. Painting is I'd say about 60% complete through the project. Wall panels are also nearly complete on the outside. One of the goals we've set on the outside of the project is the exterior of the building is nearly complete and ready to be finished, so that when we get into weather that accommodates site work, we can start working on finishing concrete curbs and gutters, parking lots, and on the south side is also there's a retention pond that gets constructed on the south side of the site, so we can concentrate on those things. And then we don't have to worry so much about the exterior of the building, because that'll be pretty much wrapping up here in the coming weeks. Like I mentioned, tile, we'll be working on tile for the next probably a few months, frankly. It takes a while to get that all done, so we like to get that started as soon as we can. And like I mentioned, a lot of work getting done in a good way. Solar design array, looking to wrap that up in the next week or two and report back here and start ordering and procuring our equipment for that and installing that going right away this spring. So, like I said, short and sweet update. Project's going really well overall. I'm happy to report that. Are there any questions at all that I could help address?
Yes, Mr. Lewis, I have one question regarding the solar array. Now, the design is almost complete as to where it's going to go up on the top of the building, and then, of course, the ground solar array as well.
Yep.
So do we know the vendor that we're going to contract to purchase these? I know we're doing this separately for the most part.
Correct. So Kraus Anderson is managing all of the solar, and we're subcontracting with Archkey, or Parsons, in other words, a local electrical subcontractor that does large commercial projects like this. The vendor for the actual solar, we don't know for sure yet, but I could have that prepared in 2 weeks when I come back with an update.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Of course.
Any other questions from the council with respect to the update for the Public Safety Center? As always, thank you, Mr. Lewis, for coming in. We see progress moving forward, so on schedule is a good thing, on budget is a good thing, and a healthy contingency fund available as well. So great work, and thanks very much.
My pleasure. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
You too. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Next item, please.
Thank you. Matt Reed from SCH, or City Engineer of Record. For the first one is the resolution to award the bid for the 14th Avenue, 20th Street, Southern Drive, and Chestnut Street Signal Construction Project from KGM.
Okay, thank you. Matt Reed, our engineer of record from SCH. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Yeah, so item number one, we took bids on 14th, 20th Southern Drive, Chestnut Street, 2nd Avenue, 12th Avenue. We had all kinds of parts to this one, but the bids actually came in pretty good. They were slightly over the engineer's estimate, but overall came in pretty good considering all of the different moving parts on it. KGM Contractors was a low bid. Still within our project budget, so I would recommend that the council move ahead with award of this project, and I can answer any questions you may have.
I'll move the resolution authorizing KGM.
Councilor Johnson moves to approve and authorize the resolution to award the bid for the street projects to KGM Construction. Is there support? Support by Councilor Freelieb. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. Matt, could you just update us, or me specifically, on the funding for this project overall, where it's coming from?
Sure. A good majority of it will be paid for with state aid funds. We don't have enough state aid funds in the coffer to pay for the entire thing, but we're going to have city's going to be working on getting a bond pulled. And Britt, was there any IRRB or anything else that's involved in this one? I don't think so.
So what will the gap be for the bond?
I don't have that number off the top of my head yet. I gotta go through the state aid. We're still in the process. I gotta go through the state aid part and find out how much money we have left.
Okay, so by approving this, then we're committing to go forward with the bond, but we don't know how much that will be yet.
Somewhere between 0 and 5.2 million. Yes, you're right. You don't know the exact number, but that's to give you an idea at least. I bet you, I would say we have at least 1.5 million to 2 million in state aid money.
So the rest of it would be in the form of us approving a bond. And was that part of our original plan then? Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Paulson. It has been moved and supported to award the bid to KGM Construction for the street projects as disseminated by Matt Rader from SCH. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Matt.
Let me just keep rolling?
Keep rolling.
All right. So item B then is adopting a resolution for the construction materials testing contract for NTS for that same project. That's to do for them to come out and do all the compaction testing and materials testing on the concrete and all of the stuff that we typically do. So again, I'll answer any questions, but I'd recommend approving that.
So moved.
Counselor Johnson moves to adopt the resolution to approve the quotes from NTS for the construction material testing for the 14th, 20th Southern Drive and Chestnut Street project. Is there support? By Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Counselor Paulson? Motion carries. Thank you. Matt?
Okay, thank you. Item number C then is to approve the resolution to award the 2025 rotary sewer and 7th Street storm sewer project to Casper Construction. Those are the two projects that we've been working on, trying to alleviate some, Rotary Park was to alleviate some of the shallow sewer steam being shut off, freezing concerns that we've had over in that area. 7th Street storm sewer was to relocate a storm sewer pipe to allow for some expansion of a business. We did get bids pretty close again to the engineer's estimate, and I believe IRRB, Britt, on this one?
Apply for IRRB. We approved the resolution at the last council meeting to put an application in for this one. And any remaining funds would come out of the sewer fund because we did account for this, and when we did our rate study last year, we accounted for the payment to these sewer funds.
So that said, I'd recommend awarding that bid so we can get going on that one as well.
Thank you. Council, looking for action.
So moved.
I'll move to approve the resolution to award the 2025 rotary sewer and 7th Street storm sewer project to Casper Construction. Is there support?
Support for discussion.
Support by Counselor Johnson for discussion. Further discussion, Counselor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Matt, do you have any idea why there is a $150,000 difference between the one we're accepting and the most expensive one? Why would that, any idea why that would be?
Between the low bid and like the third higher bidder or whatever, yeah. Could be workload, for the contractors. Could be, it's a smaller project, so maybe it wasn't, as enticing to some as others.
And I only ask because, as always, the concern is are we going to be getting change orders that bump it back up to closer to what that more expensive bid was? So that's the only reason I ask, and I know you all keep a close eye on that anyway. Thank you.
I think to put your mind at ease on that one, not saying we won't ever have any change orders on it, but the information that they were bidding on was all the same. So if for some reason the low bidder happened to miss something or bid something a little differently, that's on them. So unforeseens, of course, are a different story.
Thank you, Counselor Johnson. Counselor Paulson, and then over to Counselor Freely. Counselor Paulson.
Mayor, Matt, was any of this or Britt in the flood affected area at all?
Unfortunately, no, it
No.
was not, no.
So there's no FEMA dollars attached to this
No,
portion?
unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Paulson. Counselor Freely.
It's a minor issue with regard to the overall project, but this is going to be the displacement of the existing basketball court. And is there, I mean, in this project, is that included to then replace that somewhere?
Not in this project. Removing it, yes. replacing it. There has been some discussion with city staff about relocating that over by general area, over by the boat landing on the west side of the lake. And at this time, I don't want to commit Jim, but there's been some discussions as to maybe whether or not his crews might have time to be able to pour that slab to replace it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Counselor Freely. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Okay, thank you. Item D then is to approve a resolution approving the Active Transportation Program Grant Agreement. So it's been a little while, but you might remember we got an active transportation grant for $198,000 that we applied for probably a little over a year ago for the work up on Borgen Road for some of the trail and sidewalk work as part of the Highway 53 project that's being bid, but has been bid and being started construction here very soon. I sat in on the pre-construction meeting last week with MnDOT. So we need to get the grant agreement signed so that we can get access to that money. So this is just the resolution from the council authorizing us to move ahead and sign that grant agreement so that we can get that money.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson to the resolution approving the Active Transportation Program Grant Agreement terms in the Midway area of the multi-use trail improvement project. Is there support? By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Bachschnider.
Thank you, Mayor. Where are we getting the rest of the funds outside of the grant to complete this?
So and I will actually talk about that a little bit more in the next item, but so right now, we have active transportation and municipal state aid funds. That should cover 100% of this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Bachschnider. So for item D, has been moved and supported to approve the Active Transportation Grant Agreement for signature. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Thank you. And the last item, then review and approve the payment of the invoice. So as per typical cooperative construction agreements that the city enters into with MnDOT, they do invoice the city up front and expect full payment for the work based on the bids. If for some reason bids happen to, or the actual construction happens to come in less, the city will get reimbursed. I'll be honest, that very rarely happens, but if it does, it'll be a reimbursement. If it comes in more, then we'll have to revisit and they'll have a change order or a revision to the cooperative construction agreement. To Councilor Bachschnider's question, we've got, if we can get a hold of the active transportation money, we can use that to pay it. We are able to get up to 95% upfront of our state aid money, so the city will have to front that additional 5%, but ultimately at the end of the day, when the project is done, we can request that additional 5%, reimburse ourselves, and cover the remainder of the items. So we do have the 95% already in the bank account. We already requested that and we have it. Just got to get the active transportation. So if we approve of the payment of this, we can move that forward and handle the financials behind the scenes.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by
Support.
Counselor Bachschnider. Further discussion, I have one quick question. DEED is not involved in this at all, are they? Thank you very much. Counselor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out how ironic it is that the state requires us pay them in advance, but when we need money from them, we have to pay it and then they pay us afterwards. So it's this dichotomy of government, which I always find very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Johnson. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Matt, always for the great work. Appreciate it.
Item number 3 is a request to approve the resolution for transfer number 4 from the investment account held with the 4M Fund for the Public Safety Center.
So moved.
A move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 4 is the request to review the proposals for the upcoming city's building steam conversions and city building improvements. We do have Jim Rosta here to discuss a little bit about the quotes as well, if we have any questions. And Matt Reed, who had prepared the facilities plan for the city hall and the library.
Okay, thank you. And as we look at this project, I just want to say I was unable to go to the state legislature. I was out of the state on a personal matter, and Councilor Bach-Schneider filled in and testified on behalf of us for that $2.5 million that we're requesting from the capital investment portion of the state, and hopefully we'll be successful. So thanks for going down and doing that, Councilor Bach-Schneider.
Thank you.
Okay.
Guidance on where you'd like us to start.
Yes,
what you'd
correct.
like us to do.
And we'll have a little chance to take a look here real quick. It's unfortunate that the cost associated with this upgrade is so significant, but it's an old building. It's consistent and commensurate to some of the other buildings of this age and size, particularly in the private sector, where actually the bids are even higher than that. So that being said, looking for some direction from the council with respect to this item about the resolution, or actually reviewing the proposals. Councilor Bach-Schneider.
Thank you. So when I was reading through this, there's a lot of roofs that need replacing. And so I guess some of the questions that I have is, like, what's the priority order of replacing the roofs, things like that. And so I think at this point, I would recommend sending it to a building and grounds committee meeting for a full review, including, like, we can talk about then where in the budget we're going to find the money if we need to bond. But really looking at, like, also a priority list, maybe some pictures of what these roofs look like. Is this a want? Is this a need? And then making like an action plan for the next few years. That was kind of my initial thoughts of bringing this to the committee for a full assessment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I know we've talked about this for a while. We have had some significant challenges over the years with respect to this building, and there's been very little improvements made since the erection of this building way back in the day. There's been some minor improvements in the early 60s. We had a big fire as a result of a police car catching fire in the garage, going through the ventilation system, creating a significant amount of damage to our HVAC system. Everything that's inside the building, some of our electrical upgrades and things of that nature was a problem. And then we had a flood. And the flood was, a few years back, and that created we had some temporary repairs to the roof in order to accomplish that goal and objective. So from my perspective, based on the history of it over the last years, without due respect, I don't think this is incremental work that has to be done. I think we have to find a way to schedule it maybe over time, but to schedule it, and I think it's all a priority, just setting forth which piece comes first. And so based upon whatever decision we make moving forward to find a contract with respect to that, I think would be beneficial. And so we have before us here for one moment, please, before we continue, Jim Rosvit, our Public Works Director. Jim, do you have anything you weigh in on this?
Yeah, good morning. See, I just wanted to make you aware, steam conversions go off October of next year, 2026. There's no more steam, so this has got to move quicker than slower. We've got 4 buildings that need steam conversions and 5 that need roofs. I know it would probably be best to bring them all together and do them all as one group, because the costs are only going to go up everywhere we look at it. 4 of the roofs for sure need to be done now. The 5th one, we could hold off a couple of years, but it's definitely going to need it, which is a public works shop. There again, if we hold off on it, the price is only going to go up. We have a lot of questions. We have a lot of old stuff, like, for instance, City Hall. The steam conversion on this it's going to be expensive and it's going to be time consuming. We need to drain the old system, pressurize the systems, chemically treat and clean all the pipes that are in the existing walls and that. So all that's got to be pressurized. We got a lot of upgrades. We got a lot of instrumentation and mechanical valves that play into all this. So when that conversion goes out, there's going to be a lot of variables on that. So a lot of that's going to be trial and error too, whether we can replace it, we can reuse it, or we're going to have to add new. So it'd be better to get the ball rolling this year instead of next summer, and then come October of next year, where we're really going to struggle. So I just want to bring to your attention how important this is.
Thank you, Jim. If we just hang on one moment. Is there anything else to add on to that, Councilor Buckstein, and then we'll move to other comments. Councilor Bucksteiner.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to know that there's 4 that need the replacing and 1 that could maybe wait a couple of years. On page 35 of the packet, it includes a list of 8 different roofs that need replacing. And so if there's 4 on this list that we could potentially wait longer for, that would be great. And so that was really what I was looking at and what I was talking about. So thank you.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Councilor Bucksteiner. So just for the public's edification for all us, our education for us is, what are the 4 roofs or the 5 roofs that are potentially, one is the public works roof, which you mentioned, and what are the others?
The office at Public Works is beyond repair. The north half, is it the north half library, I believe? South half of the library. The existing fire hall and the impound yard is leaking, has been leaking extremely too. So those are all have visible damage already with the water damage on them, so.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Councilor Paulson.
Mayor, I would agree with Councilor Bachschneider to go back to buildings and grounds. And I feel like, I don't know if I did the correct math, but are we at approximately, it's 1.9 million for steam conversion? Is that correct?
Yes.
And Councilor Bachschneider, when you testified, was that specifically for dollars for converting the city buildings?
It was for 2.5 million for City Hall, and that included the steam conversion and the window replacements with it.
Okay, so then all that would be taken into consideration at the Buildings and Grounds meeting, and you guys would go over that. I'm just concerned as to the state of our state, and would we get the funding necessary? So I feel like we do need to move on this sooner than later. So if you could meet, that would be great.
And our thing also is, it's going to turn to contractor availability. I know the contractors are filling up already. With our conversion on our public works shop a couple of years ago, it was a window that we had, and that was even tough to come by. And some of these projects are extremely larger scale, so.
Yes, and I think that the suggestion that to move this to building and grounds, I don't know if you need that in the form of a motion, we can certainly do that as quickly as we can in order to accomplish that, and then move forward from there. But moving forward with the steam conversion, it would be an important aspect. And we don't know from the capital investment testifying down there if that $2.5 million, I know they moved it forward for consideration, but it's all up to the leadership in the last hour, minutes even, of the legislative session to determine what money gets allocated and which money doesn't. So we're hoping that that $2.5 million does survive, and according to our lobbyists and some of the other legislators, that it has a good chance of succeeding, and we'll be going down on April 7th to the legislature to talk a little bit more about that. I think Councilor Friedlieb and I are going down with the Rams group in order to accomplish that. So thank you for that. Hang on just a minute if you would, Jim. Councilor Johnson, and then over to Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Jim, for the details. One of the things I would like to see, and I'm happy to schedule a Buildings and Grounds Committee for this, is how do we prevent this from happening in another 20 or 30 years? I think that's one of the things the city has lacked, is planning and regular upgrades and checks and maintenance. We have a bad habit of literally putting out fires after they're smoldering. And that's evident everywhere in our city government at this time. So I hope that's something you will help us work on too, is an overall maintenance plan for buildings as you have been doing with your vehicles. Appreciate that very much. I also think that getting everything done at one time is a good idea. That way there's only one mobilization cost and all those one-time fees that go together with major construction. That's where the companies get us. If we do one project here, the amount we're spending on the initial mobilization every time would probably pay for one of the projects in itself. So I agree with doing everything as soon as possible. Where's the money coming from? Well, either we spend the money up front and figure it out, or we fix things in an emergency process that's gonna cost the double to fix roofs. We have Apple Tree Learning Center has had to move within a month of their last roof issue because of failure to maintain. And I can say that as someone who worked there, and we did our best. But in an old building, sometimes your best isn't good enough and you have to start being proactive. So I am supportive of us moving forward, and I will ask Britt to schedule a Buildings and Grounds Committee when the committee can meet within hopefully the next week or two, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Johnson. We will schedule that Building and Grounds meeting, move this subject over there for consideration. And as you indicated, Councilor Barca, set a priority of what needs to be done, and then come back with that recommendation to our committee of the whole meeting. Thank you for that. Okay, thank you. Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one follow-up question that I have. Is there any way that we could incorporate the public utilities to see if Minnesota Power or Excel, or there are any entities that would be willing to partner up with the city for this expensive conversion? I mean, is there any possibility or potential that any of their, I don't know if they have foundations or what, but if they have any ability to either via a grant or something assist the city of Virginia with these large steam conversions of our city buildings?
I think we should ask.
Thank
Leave
you.
no stone unturned. Yes, thank you.
Exactly right. Thank you.
Thank you. So it has been, well, it hasn't moved, so we are going to move this to the to Building and Grounds Committee. We don't need that in a form of a motion, do we? Or do we recommend that? Councilor Johnson?
I will move to direct staff to schedule a committee meeting for Buildings and Grounds.
Okay, thank you. Supported by Councilor Bachschnider. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jim.
Hey, Jim. Item number 5 is approve the request from the library director for the road closure of Fifth Avenue South on July 10th, 2025 for Big Truck Day, and July 31st, 2025 for their summer wrap-up party.
So moved.
Move to approve by Councilor Johnson for the library request of road closure, supported by Councilor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 6 are recommendations from the Personnel Committee held on March 25th, 2025. The first item was approval to allow staff to update the utility worker job description.
Move to approve.
Councilor Paulson moves to approve the update of the utility worker job description proffered by personnel, for which Councilor Paulson is the chair. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Johnson.
What will be being updated?
The responsibilities aren't very closely aligned to what they actually do. So we're going to try to, I'm actually meeting with the staff tomorrow to go over to talk with them about what do we do in a day and how do we put that into the job description.
And that was going to be my next question, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Johnson. Has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Personnel Committee, we discussed the request to approve allowing us to post externally for the digital multimedia technician position.
So moved.
I'll move to approve by Councilor Friede, who is a member of the Personnel Committee. Is there support? Support by Councilor Johnson. Further discussion. Is this a new position?
No, these are, we approved them last year. We just don't have any in this position at the moment.
And it's been budgeted for? Thank you. Councilor Bachschnider.
Thank you. So when reading this job description, it seems like this person would probably be most busy during our hockey season. I'm wondering if it would be a benefit to potentially wait until October to consider hiring for this role as a cost-saving measure for us, just temporarily wait over the summer.
They don't just do like the scoreboard, they do a lot of the audiovisual in the event center, which every single event, we have to reset the whole system because it doesn't want to jive with the computers that people bring in. So we need that body that can be that person that can help the people that are coming in. So it's not just a seasonal thing, it's an all year round
Okay,
position. And they only work on an as needed basis, so it's not a set dollar amount that we pay them per month, it's when we need them.
thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Bachschnider. This is being posted externally because internally there wasn't a candidate available?
Yeah, this is a up to 20-hour a week position.
Okay, there you go. Yep,
Yeah,
thank you.
We had two, and they've both moved on, so we have none right this moment. So
Yep, thank you for that clarification. Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, so I just wanted to confirm it's a casual position. And then the person, are we just doing one, or would we do up to?
Up to two would be wonderful.
And then whoever receives the award of the position would be trained in on all of the scoreboard, all of the electronic
Yeah.
components that we have. There was some concern of some things happening at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center. So just to let everyone know that this person would be officially trained in and able to do that, so people would not be stepping in to use our components and maybe not have the education in order to do that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think you vetted that out in your personnel committee meeting that whoever the applicant is has to have some basic knowledge about how that operates. So thank you. It has been moved and supported to post externally for the digital multimedia technician position. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
No,
Roll call, please, Pam. Thank you.
Beyondich,
Aye.
Bachschnider,
no,
Friedlieb,
Aye.
Huffy,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Motley,
Absent.
absent, Paulson.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-1 with one absentee. Thank you.
The Personnel Committee meeting, we had a discussion very briefly regarding the on-call pay language, and we will move that to a future Personnel Committee meeting. We also did have a brief discussion about the Finance Director, and we'll be having a personnel meeting about that as well, the job description.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 7 is review the proposed franchise ordinance with MediaCom.
Okay, thank you. And as you look at this for discussion and potential action, I did receive some visits from some of the people in the area, particularly those who live in the Laurentian Manor and others that MediaCom, whether this is part of this process or not, I just want to bring up that MediaCom has changed some of the services they provide. They don't have an office in Virginia. You have to go to Hibbing. Now you have to send your bills elsewhere, Carroll Stream, Illinois, because, so it's a mess from my personal perspective. So it's a challenge for people who live here, number one. Number two, they no longer provide DVR service, so you can't record any of your media that you watch. They've eliminated that. And also, and I'll take this out, it may be a small piece for some people, but a major piece for others, that they no longer provide local sporting channel. For example, you can't watch the Minnesota Twins anymore on MediaCom. You have to buy it from Valley Sports. And so that's a big concern for a lot of people, and I completely understand it as well. So some of the services that are providing are being eroded, at the same time making it inconvenient for those who utilize this service. And the question was, does MediaCom have to be at Laurentian Manor, for example? And I know that there's one office over there at the HRA that doesn't use MediaCom. They use Paul Bunyan. So some issues there to talk about as we move forward. Whether this is part of the discussion, I don't know, but I just want to bring it up as some points for discussion now or later. Counselor Paulson.
Mayor, at this time, I'm not ready to approve this contract. I'd like to ask, was Kennedy and Graven consulted? They were the original authors of the one that just expired. And did Kennedy and Graven go through this contract with our city attorney?
Robert Canuet's been the one that's been negotiating this with MediaCom from Kennedy and Graven.
So my concern is some of what the mayor just stated. And the other portion of this, this is a separate issue, but I would like to invite CTC to come in and have a discussion with us and invite the Cable Commission as well. And then at the bottom of the actual contract, sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Is this an actual ordinance, Britt? Yes. So we would go through a first and a second reading, and we're adopting an ordinance. So is it a contract between the City of Virginia and MediaCom, or is it an ordinance, and should those two things be separated?
It's commonly done as an ordinance. It's how it's always been done, and it's commonly done in other cities. I think it's a little more binding as an ordinance. I'm sorry, it's Robert Voss, not Robert Canuet, so I did misspeak. And we can definitely talk some more about it. I did send you guys an email with what Robert had replied to our last meeting, so we can talk a little bit more. We did change the time frame from 10 years to 5 years rather than the normal 10 that we usually do. We upped some of the fees like we talked about, and I think I'm on your same path that we think
I'm just curious,
further.
as, I guess where I'm going with this is it's stated MediaCom as a part of an ordinance. And if another entity comes in, then do we have to amend the ordinance, or should we create an ordinance that outlines it, but just leave it generic as the ordinance of a cable company?
would normally do a franchise ordinance for every franchise you enter into.
Okay.
So if we decided to do a natural gas franchise for some reason, we decide to not use public utilities anymore, we would do a franchise ordinance for that.
So each one is separate.
Correct. And we did verify this is non-exclusive.
It's non-exclusive, so I appreciated that. There's just some things that I would like to go over, and maybe the next time we have a meeting, we could have Kennedy and Graven available on Zoom or over the phone to discuss maybe how other communities do it, and to make sure that, I think I'm hearing the same thing out there. The rates are going through the roof. Residents can't get a hold of anybody. They can't return their boxes. It's a lot of frustration, and I believe they used to have contract agreements with, I don't know if the Washington Manor has a current agreement. I was trying to think of when Dana Hiltonen was here, I don't remember what her financials stated, but they used to have an agreement with the senior living area or places, and it was much less expensive. So I don't know if it's up to the building owner to negotiate that, but I feel like that needs to probably be discussed moving forward, so we have the best interest of our residents, especially our senior population, in mind. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'm not ready to move forward with this either, that we need to vet this out a little bit more. So, Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Councilor Paulson at this point about a few more questions. One of the questions I would like asked, because it's a really long contract, but in Exhibit A, it lists a bunch of places that says no signal redistribution. I'd be curious to know how we came up with those places and what that means. And I don't need that information now unless you have it. Otherwise, because I'm seeing some schools, but not all the schools. So I want to make sure that if this is providing services through us, that we're being equitable with all the schools and other public entities listed. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm not necessarily agreeable that MediaCom should be the vendor, so those are things that need to be talked about as well. Any other questions, comments? Looking to move this to another meeting? You need a motion for that? Looking for a motion to move?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Paulson, supported by Councilor Johnson, to move this proposed franchise orders to MediaCom for further discussion to another meeting. Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Next item on the agenda is approve the consent form for the Iron Range Half Marathon 2025.
I'll move.
Move to approve by Counselor Freely. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
Britt, will you please explain what this means?
The Mesabi Trail we have to give permission that we agree that they can hold the half marathon on the Mesabi Trail.
Why? Are we talking about the Mesabi Trail portions in the city of Virginia limits?
Correct.
Okay, that makes
Would
sense.
be on city land. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 9 is a request to approve the resolution declaring an item as surplus and allowing for the auction of the surplus item.
So moved.
A move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson.
Mayor, Britt, could we be provided a list prior to the council meeting, if that's possible? I just had a couple of people ask about some surplus equipment and some of the digital surplus equipment as well. Is that on there, or has that already been sold?
The sale hasn't happened yet, so it's.
Okay, so would it be possible to get that list, or is it easily
I believe so.
accessible? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Paulson. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Before we go into closed session, I'd like to bring up one more item of other concern. Just for the Councilor's right, I think we'd have to revisit and review the issue, the email that we received from our Public Works Director, Jim Rosvit, regarding the grader and some other things. I think we have to do some more discussion about that to see what can be done to alleviate the issue we have with respect to the loss of that big piece of equipment. So thank you for that. Okay,
Mayor,
I'm sorry. Yes, Counselor Freely.
if I may, just
Yes,
a couple
please.
seconds.
Yes, absolutely.
It is not that frequent that we have as many people in the audience as we have this morning. And to this moment, they haven't been acknowledged in any shape, manner, or form. So it confuses me as to who they are and why they're here, which is all well and fine, but I would like to welcome you all for being here and sitting through all of this. I do see Alyssa from Sawmill, and I don't know if all of you are associated with that. And if in fact you are, I would like to thank you for the service that you've provided to the city of Virginia over the years that you've been involved with the Iron Trail Motors Event Center. Any and all interactions that I've had with you at any events that I've attended have been nothing but professional. The food has been exceptional. And so I just want you to know that I support you and your entity for the things that you've done for the city of Virginia. I appreciate it, and I thank you very much for that. And I hope that everything settles out in the manner in which it should. But I don't know that I have any influence in moving that in the direction that you should. So again, thank you for the service that you provide. It's been exceptional, professional, and impressive. Thank you.
So are all of you represented from the same organization? Okay. All right, thank you. We are going to be going into closed session on item number 10, and we have some significant discussions with respect to contract issues. So anything else before on other items of concern before we entertain a motion to move into closed session? Okay. Looking for a motion to move to closed session.
So move.
Moved by Counselor Bachschnider. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Beyondich. And the purpose of item 10 on the agenda is that we are going to move to closed session for attorney-client privilege. This portion of the meeting will be closed for attorney-client privilege to discuss potential litigation pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.05 Subdivision 3. and that would include the issues that are on that closed session agenda. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are now in closed session. Would ask all of you once again to please vacate the city council chambers so that we can conduct our closed session business. Thank you, everybody, for coming and showing